Hello everyone, Rich here, back for another Minecraft ship video sort of thing. No builds today, instead we've got a rundown of all the ships in this area, a ship showcase if you like, a review of 2018 basically. So it's a look around my shipyard and sort of look over what I've built anyway over 2018. So start off in the middle here with Titanic, of course. This was the version that I built in December or November of 2017. This ship in the middle here, this is one I showed off and was going to be the first tutorial of 2018. So that was the original prototype build there, and the build itself for the videos was over here, and it's already been converted to Olympic as well. So we did a conversion video. Can't remember when it was. I think it was a couple of months after I'd done Titanic. So this was the original build from those videos, and then of course converted to Olympic, and did a funnel conversion as well, so just sort of slanted the funnels back as well. So that was the two builds there, and of course later on I went on and done the Britannic over there. I'll fly over to that in a minute, but just a quick look around this Titanic here. Of course this was meant to be, or is really, the replacement to my 2012 Titanic and 2014 Titanic, because well, that thing was just sort of an in proportion piece of crap really. So I did this version, and yeah, I think I managed to pull it off a lot better. It's more in proportion. I use proper deck plans and proportions and things like that, so it stands out a lot better, and it's much better in, well, proportions really. It's as good as it's going to get really. So it's sort of a closer, brings it to a close, the build for Titanic on this channel. I won't be doing any more unless I do an upscaled version, which I don't really want to do. So yeah, it sort of brings Titanic to a close really for this channel. I'll still do from the depths videos with it, of course, you know, smashing it up, crashing it into things and blowing it up, all the wonderful things that you can do from the depths. But for Minecraft, that is pretty much it for Titanic. Maybe a conversion for Olympic later on into Dazzle, but that's nothing for the foreseeable future anyway. So that was the Olympic conversion over there. This is the original Titanic here, the one I did in November 2017. So we can call it the 2018 version if you like, and then of course I moved over to build Britannic over here. So this is this was the dummy for the conversion video, the prototype really. So the build one is over there. So once again, more detail than the original I'd done back in 2014, 2012 as well. Proper gantry davits, lifeboat stations and things. I did screw up a little bit though, because I think there was meant to be a gantry davit system on the poop deck at the back, but I don't know if that was meant to be there or not. So I didn't put one on there. So yeah, that's probably one of the screw ups of my build. But overall though, it don't look too bad. Maybe the colour's a little bit off. I mean, I know there was no yellow line on the original Britannic, but I thought I'd leave it there for a reference, and because I think it looks better with the yellow line. That's my opinion anyway. So that was that, and I do get a lot of criticism because people still want me to build a full tutorial for Britannic and Olympic. But there really is no point there, because it's basically 99% Titanic and then sort of 10% or 1% a change for Britannic and Olympic. I mean, Olympic is basically just bigger windows along the promenade, that's it. And Britannic is a different paint scheme, but with a few extra gantry davits and things like that. So I wasn't prepared to do a full tutorial for the same thing, so I thought I'd leave it. Anyway, that is the Britannic, or the Olympic class ships all out of the way, and that was January for the Titanic. I can't remember exactly when I'd done the Britannic and the Olympic, but it doesn't really matter. They're done now anyway. So, and also the funnel update. So I'll leave Titanic and her sisters away, and we shall fly down to the back end. No, I don't need to go that way actually, because it's over here we want to build or fly to, because it's the Majestic that we did next. Majestic was, I think, late January, and it's sort of the forgotten ship really. If I can just fly over to it, it's going to take a little while. But yeah, Majestic is kind of the forgotten ship of my builds this year. It's, you know, I built it back in January and did a tutorial then as well, and it's kind of forgotten really. Still a nice looking ship of a sort. A bit out of proportion in some places because the deck plans were a bit vague, but I managed to achieve something with it, and it don't look too bad. So, you know, what the tutorial for that is available on my channel. Like I say, it's quite a chunky ship, and some proportions are a bit out, but you know, if it They don't look too bad, and you can build it. You know, all these ships on this video have tutorials, except one, which is the Oceanic. I've not done that one yet, so. But yeah, all the ships here have tutorials, so just look them up and you can find them. So this is Majestic. Nothing really special. It's very similar to the Olympic class ships. We've got a big open promenade, very tall superstructure, and the funnels are an absolute copy of the Titanic one. So there's no real design feature with the funnels. But the stern I was quite impressed with when we get down to the back there. Yeah, I was trying to think which one was the build and which one was the dummy or the prototype. Can't really remember. Well, it doesn't matter. But that was Majestic, and like I say, it's one of the forgotten builds. Really, it's never been revisited and not really talked about. So, but the stern I was quite impressed with. So if you just plop down to the stern here, it doesn't look too bad. I know it could be better, but it's my build. I don't care what anyone else thinks. And yeah, it didn't look too bad. And yeah, that's the Majestic. So that was the end of January 2018. And we can leave it at that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fly down to the back of the Olympic class ships, and we shall fly down to there, because the next build I did was a little bit of a gap, because I had a few family issues just after I'd done the Majestic, and so I had 5 weeks off. So it's 5 weeks, and then I started the Mauretania, which is down here. So this is the prototype build here of Mauretania. I know that because I got the 101 in front of it. I don't know why I put a 101 on the build zone, but I put it there. And this is the Mauretania. We've got Lusitania over there as well, so we've got both ships available. So that's again Mauretania here, and again using proper deck plans. So it's more in proportion with things I've done previously. So the Lusitania build that I'd done a few years ago is wiped away now. So if you want a Lusitania, then you're going to have to follow this tutorial for Mauretania and then the conversion afterwards. But I was quite happy with this build as well. It's a modest sort of thing. I know some people take detailing to the next level and sort of go overboard with it, but I thought I'd keep it modest. And it's sort of a signature, really. Sort of the half-assed approach to shipbuilding is what I like to call it. And I was quite happy with it. And you've got the decent-looking stern here as well, something I had not done with my previous Lusitania. So you've got the proper undercut there around the propellers. And I didn't think it looked too bad. And then afterwards as well, I did the Lusitania conversion with the help of Ocean Liner Lover. He did all the detailing and colour codes and things like that, and I just copied it off of him. So big thanks to Ocean Liner Lover for the help with the Lusitania there. So quick look down the other side of Mauretania. And like I said, it's one of my better builds, I think. The Titanic was a good build. This one's a good build as well, I think. But some of the detail, I say, is a bit missing as well. But no big deal. I mean, remember, I just build these as a base. I give a rough description on how to build these things, and you can fill out the rest of it as much as you want. A few shout outs here as well, or one shout out anyway, to the ladies at MTK Live. They've done a few live streams recently of building the Titanic. I'm just sort of wondering, how the hell can you play Minecraft for 9 hours straight? They did this live streams building. I think they did about 3 or 4 live streams of building the Titanic using my Titanic over there. And I'm sort of wondering, how the hell can you play Minecraft for that long? But I don't know. But hello to the ladies there anyway at MTK Live. And yeah. Anyway, onto the Lusitania here, which is, like I said, a conversion of Mauretania. I did 2 versions of Lusitania. I did the peacetime version, which is over here, which has the red funnels, and the front superstructure's changed as well. I did screw up a little bit with the bridge wings, but no big deal. So I did the peacetime version there, and then I did the wartime version here with the bold yellow line around the base of the superstructure, and also the black funnels as well. Okay, so this is what people annoy me with on this thing, because whoever thinks Lusitania had black funnels all through its career, then they're wrong, because peacetime she had the red funnels. Wartime, allegedly, she had the black funnels. There's no photographic evidence or anything like that that says she had black funnels during the war. Let's just go through hearsay and a few paintings by Ken Marshall. There's no photographic evidence to say that she had black funnels. Maybe a few testimonies, I don't know, but you know. But that is the two Lusitanias there, of course, the wartime and peacetime, and they don't look too bad in my opinion either. So that's those two ships there, two Lusitanias, and of course Mauretania over there. So once again, do the Mauretania tutorial, and if you want Lusitania, then just follow the conversion videos, and you should end up with one of these. And that was the Greyhound ships done. So that was March of this year, and they don't look too bad in my opinion. So that was those ships there, and then I went a bit sort of beyond my realm really with the next ship, which is the Queen Mary, and I have to say it is my absolute favourite build of this year, Queen Mary. It's huge, it's massive, this thing is. It's I don't know the full length of it, but once again using proper deck plans, and the proportions are alright. There's no shear to any of my ships either, so the main inconsistency of my ships is no shear, which basically means the hull doesn't slope up at the front and the back. The ship is straight all the way along, so that's an sort of an inaccuracy on my part, but it's something I chose to do. It's a small price to pay because Minecraft is an awkward thing to do, but overall I don't think the ship looked too bad. There's a few areas where the black shadows have caused problems, but that's no big deal there. So this was the prototype build here, so I'm going to fly over the top because this thing is huge, and it's my favourite build of the year, and probably my favourite build of all time really. So got all the front there, the front of the superstructure, very iconic sort of stature of the Queen Mary there. And then over the top, if we get a top-down look over the Queen Mary, you can see she's sort of raindrop shaped or teardrop shaped. She's very fat in the middle, and then narrows at each end. So you can see the full girth of the ship. She's massive, so it doesn't matter which way you look at it. I mean, looking straight down at it, she's a massive ship. I wouldn't say she's 100% accurate because none of my ships are, but I'd say this is probably my favourite and most accurate build, despite not having a shear. So that is, like I say, a small price to pay for the details that I've done, but I think she looks fantastic. That's my opinion anyway. So a ship of this size does look amazing. The hull down the stern is a bit iffy though. I mean, where the stern hull slopes down towards the waterline is a bit off, so you know, you can sort of see the in each section of the hull this is sort of a bit of a strange wiggle, but you know, it's sort of a design thing I chose to do. And ignore that line there, that's basically for copying and pasting. So that's that line there. So quick look around the stern. I mean, you can see in any angle this thing's big, so it's a massive builder. So yeah, that's the prototype one there, and that's the tutorial build there. So two Queen Marys, two massive ships side by side. And I was going to do the Queen Elizabeth tutorial. I have built, well, sort of partly the Queen Elizabeth. I've got it in another area, but I've decided to scrap that because there's another chap who has done or built a Queen Elizabeth using my hull design from the Queen Mary, and he's going to do, or he might be able to. I'm not going to say he will, but he thinks he can get on and do a tutorial for the Queen Elizabeth, and I will let him do it. I'm not going to argue with him. It will save me a job, to be honest. But yeah, good luck to him. I can't remember his name because it is an awkward one to pronounce because it's sort of ex player, something like that. But he knows who he is. So if you want to do the tutorial, sir, then go ahead. It'll save me a job, and good luck because this thing is a massive build. Yeah, it'll be using the Queen Mary hull, and then the superstructure and the funnel design will change for the Queen Elizabeth. So that is that for the future, but it won't be by me. So I've decided to wash my hands with Queen Elizabeth and let someone else take the reins. So yeah, that'll be. I don't know when it'll be, but hopefully the said gentleman will do the Queen Elizabeth. And I'll probably follow the tutorial as well because I quite like to have a Queen Elizabeth. I did start my one, but I just could not be bothered to finish it, so I decided to scrap it. So anyway, that's the two Queen Marys there. That was the build for, I can't remember if it was end of April into May, I'm not sure. That may have been a May build, so yeah, that was the Queen Mary. So what was after the Queen Mary? We came over to Aquitania. Now looking at this Aquitania here, I've sort of noticed that the front of the superstructure is a bit narrow, but There's not really a big issue really, because the ship, once again, it's in more proportion. The front of the superstructure, like I say, is a bit narrow, but the ship is more in proportion with the real thing, and I took a bit more care with these builds. So that's Aquitania there. Once again, a relatively forgotten build really, because I've not really gone back to visit it with hospital ship designs or dazzle colour schemes. So once the tutorial was over, I kind of just left it and not went back to it. And it's also in sort of an awkward end of the build zone really, because most of my ships are sort of in a cluster, whereas this one is sort of pushed out to one side really. So yeah, this is Aquitania, and once again it's another Cunard 4-stacker, the last ever 4-stacker ship built, and the last to be scrapped really as well. In 1950 I think she was broken up. So yeah, Aquitania, not a bad looking ship, a very clustered ship though, because you've got loads of air vents and things everywhere, so there's quite a lot of clutter on board. But that's no big deal. It doesn't really retract from the elegant lines of the ship. I wouldn't say my ship's got elegant lines, but you sort of get the idea. But yeah, I was quite happy with this build as well. Not as elegant as the Queen Mary, I must say, but it's got sort of sleek lines and things. I will admit though, the stern was basically a copy paste from the Mauritania and slightly tarted up, so there was a bit of a compromise there. Excuse me, but no, overall I wasn't too unimpressed with it. I was quite happy with it. So that was the Aquitania then. This is the prototype build. Of course the tutorial build is over there. I'm just going to fly over the top because I can't remember if there's anything else over the side here. Excuse me. So I don't think, no, there's nothing else here. Yeah, that was that. So that was the Aquitania there. Once again, all these ships that are in this video have tutorials for them, except the Oceanic, which I will do in January 2019. But yeah, all the builds I've done, apart from that one, I have tutorials for. So just look them up and you'll find them on the channel. Apart from the ships, I did do a few tankers and steam locomotives and things down here. And this colour chart over here is my sort of Queen Mary versus the rest of the ships. So if you look, you've got the blue, which is Queen Mary, and then the black in the foreground is the Caronia, I think it is, and it sort of gives you an idea of the size of the ship. So yeah, there's a real size difference there. The red ship, I'm just trying to think actually, the yellow ship is the Mauretania, so that gives you an idea in the size difference there. So Mauretania is yellow, Aquitania is green, Titanic is red, so that gives you an idea on the size of the ships. So it's quite a difference in size. Apart from that, we've got two trucks down here and 2 steam locomotives. These are 2 tutorials I've done sort of as a break really, but I did them and I thought they looked quite good, but they've sort of fallen away and not been popular, so I'll probably remove these tutorial videos, so it won't be a big deal. But yeah, they weren't that popular, so like I said, I'll probably just get rid of them. So that was that. Nothing else really to say there. So we shall leave this zone now and fly over somewhere else, because we've got other ships elsewhere. And just trying to think, what come after Aquitania? Because I have got other builds, I just can't remember what order I've done them in. Yeah, we'll fly down here anyway, because we've got the Canberra here, the P&O cruise ship. So that's the Canberra there. Now this thing was a huge build as well. There's very similar sizes to Queen Mary. It's not the same elegance though. I didn't find this one all that good to do. It's a complicated as hell ship to build, I will admit. Not the prettiest either, but it's a request anyway from Brian, basically. I can't remember his YouTube channel name, but Brian was sort of adamant that I build this thing, and I did ignore him for a few years, and I sort of felt guilty for, so I thought I'd better build the Canberra. It's like I say, it's not the prettiest of ships though, and I did sort of compromise the stern, but overall it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it's something I thought I'd better do, and yeah, it didn't come out too bad. So a quick look around the stern here. As you can see, it's multiple decks of just open areas. This is a really complicated build, and designing it using the deck plans is a nightmare. I mean, there's decks which are sort of hidden within decks, if you know what I mean. It's sort of, some decks are really high decks, some are really low, some are just sort of hidden out the way. So, and also the superstructure is really weird as well. I mean, most of the ship is sort of sort of like a Queen Mary style of ship. But then you get to the upper sections where around the bridge area. If you look up here, you got this sort of citadel really, sort of stacks of decks on a small circle basically, and it's a very difficult thing to sort of pull off. But we got there in the end, and it didn't look too bad. But it was a real pain in the ass to build. And of course, at the front of the superstructure as well, which is sort of just stacks and curves and all sorts. But yeah, like I say, I got there in the end, and it don't look too bad, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, it wasn't a happy build, that one. It was kind of a real arse ache. But once again, if you want a tutorial on how to build this thing, then just look on my channel and it'll be there. But yeah, that was that. So there's the build there. I think actually, which one was it? Which one was that? The actual build? Oh, that was the build. This one was the prototype. So this is the prototype here, and the tutorial build was that one there. So yeah, a few slight differences to each ship between them. I mean, you look on the front of the superstructure, you got an open well, whereas that one over there you got a raised deck. So there's just a few changes I made along the way, but overall they're virtually the same. So that's 2 Canberras there, and then I moved on to the actually the Caronia came first. So this is the Caronia. This one was built before the Canberra. So if you're watching the tutorial of me doing the Caronia here, you'd see the the Canberra starting to take shape, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. It took a long time to do, but you'll see if you're watching all the videos, you'll see the Canberra gradually taking shape and sort of just pop up overnight, sort of thing. So yeah, that's the that thing there. So the Canberra here, which is this one here in the god awful green, but the black, in my opinion, black looked better. And also, I did a sort of screenshot test really with a vote on what colour to do. My opinion, it was the blue or the black that looked better. The blue didn't look too bad, and the green looked awful. But everyone voted, or most of the people voted for the green, so I stuck with the green. So that's what came out. So once again, another ship designed with deck plans, and although no shear, but overall it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's fairly uninspiring ship really. There's nothing really going for it. But it was an alright build. It was much easier build than some of the ships, and we've got a bit of a bloody hell. Got a chunk error going on here. There we go. Get rid of that. And sake. It has to be today, doesn't it? Alright, there we go. Everything's back again. Alright, so there we are. That is around the back of the Canberra. Very similar stern again to the Queen Mary. I think I sort of copied it and scaled it down a bit because some of the ships have got really, really difficult sterns to build. And it wasn't too bad. So yeah, the Canberra there. I think if I had built it in black, it probably looked better. But you know, the people's vote won the day. And yeah, there we go. So a quick look over the top. And yeah, it wasn't a bad build to do tutorial wise. And yeah, I was quite happy with that one when it was done. And not too bad. So yeah, that's another one you want a tutorial for, then just look it up. That's the Caronia. Yeah. So around the back of the Caronia, I've got a couple of other ships or tugs or other things which are sort of stacked down the back. We did the Calshot lightship, which is the little red lightship down there. I didn't bother doing the tug there. That thing with the 2 funnels just down here. I didn't bother doing a tutorial for that one because it's kind of crap really. So yeah, that's the that thing there. I decided not to bother with that thing. But I did the Calshot Spit lightship, which is this thing here, and that didn't look too bad. And also the Red Jet 5, which is the red funnel fast ferry from Southampton to the Isle of Wight, and that's that thing there. I did a tutorial for that, and I don't think it looked too bad. Bit flat, but of course it is a catamaran ferry thingy. What's it? And yeah, I didn't think it looked too bad. A few areas which could do with an improvement, but yeah, that's the way things go. So yeah, that's those things there. Like I said, I didn't bother doing the tug, but everything else was fine. So that's that. So a quick look around again. What have we got over here? We've got the Andrea Doria. Now I've just finished this tutorial recently. This was sort of last week I finished this one. So that's the Andrea Doria. I was going to leave this one to the last, but no big deal. So yeah, we just finished this one, and this one didn't come out too bad either. and I was quite impressed with this build as well. Much improved over my original, which I'd done I think 2 or 3 years ago. And yeah, it's quite happy with that thing. It's quite an attractive ship as well. It's very sleek. And to answer your question, no, I will not be doing a conversion to the Antonia Grazia or Grazi from the Ghost Ship film. No, I will not be doing a conversion to that. It wasn't a very good film, to be honest. All I remember from it is a pair of tits, but you know, that's my juvenile humour going there. But yeah, that's Andrea Doria there. I won't go too much detail into it because I've only just finished it, but it's another one of those happy builds I'd done. I did do a big screw up with the prototype though. I have changed it since, but when I did the prototype video, the forecastle was raised, which wasn't on the real ship, so I had to quickly change that before I got on with the tutorial. So yeah, that was an error on my part, but the overall build, when it was complete and corrected, looks fine. And so we've got 2 ships there, and 2 Andrea Dorias, and they look fine. I think they look amazing, to be honest. And yeah, that's Andrea Doria. So where are we now? So around the back of the Ile de France. This is one that I forgot about. SS Ile de France. This is sort of one that caught a lot of people out, really, because I didn't announce I was going to build this one until I'd done the preview video. And yeah, it's well, say it's a popular one. It's not popular at all, to be honest, because it's I built it and done the tutorial, but it's kind of left out, really, forgotten about, because I don't really know why no one really found it that interesting, and I thought it was just a waste of time at the end of the day. I did all the videos and finished it off, but overall, looking back, it's kind of a waste of time, really. A real shame, because once again, it was quite an easy build to do. But you know, people have their opinions, and kind of forgotten about it. So that's the Ile de France. And is it the Ile de France? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I think it was the Ile de France. And yeah, it's the ship that was used in the film The Last Voyage, or the final. Is it The Last Voyage? Yeah. With Robert Stack. Yeah, and I did a video, sort of a video homage to that, of In From the Depths, where the ship has an explosion in the bow, and then the ship starts to roll, sink forward. And that was kind of forgotten about as well, which is a shame, but hey ho, there we go. Anyway, quick look around the Ile de France. Like I say, they're a fairly forgotten about ship, and yeah, it's a real shame. You know, it's the way things go. And yeah, there's not much to talk about, really. Once again, though, if you want to build it, it's available on my channel, so just go and have a look, see what you think, and we'll see. So, quick look at the bow. Always like looking at the bow. Alright, so that was the Ile de France. We've got another ship over here next to the Olympic class ships, of course. This one is the Empress of Ireland. Now, this is another build which I quite enjoyed building. A fairly small ship in comparison to everything else. But yeah, I quite enjoyed building this one. It's another rebuild of my original I'd done, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, it's a complete redesign. Once again, using deck plans, and I quite enjoyed this one. It's a very, well, I'll say enjoyable build, and kind of pulled it off quite well. And I think it looks right. There's no errors with this one either. I think I've managed to get through this one without any issues. And yeah, so I've got 2 Empress of Irelands there. I've also sort of overkilled it in From the Depths as well. Sort of done multiple videos of it in that. And yeah, I think it looks amazing, this little thing. Empress of Ireland, and much more proportion compared to the original I'd done. Yeah, but I think 2018 is basically sort of a year of rebuild, sort of a year of restarting from scratch, if you know what I mean. Sort of going back over what I've done previously and just sort of wiping the slate clean and starting again. I think 2019, I think it has a sort of new beginnings, if you like, a channel of new beginnings, because I don't really want to go back over old builds and do them all again. I think I just want to start from scratch and build from there. Hence why I got the Oceanic up first. Campania. Is it Campania? I can't remember what it's called. Campania. No, it's Campania. Yeah, Campania be afterwards. And then I think Donna Paz afterwards. We'll see what I can come up with. But yeah, I think in 2019 will be a year of new beginnings. But anyway, that's the Empress of Ireland there, with a fab looking ship. Now this thing over here, this sort of ugly bulbous pile of crap here, was originally going to be the Andrea Doria, but I just lost faith and patience with this thing and just thought I'd scrap it and carry on with something else. So this here is just an empty hulk. There is nothing really to talk about there, so that's that. And yeah, we've kind of gone back over to Titanic again, so I'm going to fly over this way again. I think, just trying to think what else we've done. There's another ship. Are there any more? I'm going to have to have a quick think about this. I think the last one is Oceanic, because there isn't anything else, nothing finished anyway. I've got the build design zone over in the distance, but they're for ships that are not finished yet. So this is basically ships that are finished and been showcased or tutorial done so far. So yeah, it's I think I've done everything. I've just done the one ship left. So I'll quickly look around anyway. I can't quite remember what I have and have not done. I mean, it's been a long year, isn't it? Although saying that, 2018, sorry, has just sort of flown by. Anyway, we're coming up to the Queen Mary again. Now I'm going to take an exit right. Exit stage right, and over here is where the Oceanic is. I've already done a preview of this thing. I did this last week. And it's this is finished now. I've still got a few things to do to it, so I was going to sort of strip it down and sort of give it a quick overhaul. So this is the Oceanic. Once again, so I've already done the preview video, and the tutorial will be ready sometime in January 2019. I'll try and get it done second week of January, or start around that time anyway. So that would be for 2019, and that's the Oceanic there. And I think I can call it a day there, because I don't think I've got any more ships to show. I really need to have a long think about what I have and have not done, because I really should have written it down, but no big deal. But yeah, we're just flying back over Aquitania and Queen Mary again. I mean, any angle Queen Mary looks good, that's my opinion anyway. So I'll have a quick look over Queen Mary again. And just have a quick fly down to the back of the build zone, or the shipyard if you like, and try and remember if there's anything else to view. Now there was another ship over by the Ile de France. That is actually the original Oceanic. That's just sort of the unfinished version, so I don't need to go back and look at that. But there isn't really anything else here. We've got a half-assed stern there, so that's something that needs to be removed. So quick look around the back of the Canberra. I think there's a ship up here, but I think this is sort of a copy of one that I've already done. So I'll quickly look down the back here, and then we shall see what is here. Oh yeah, there's another space, and what is it? It is, oh, it's the Empress of Ireland again. So that is another copy of Empress of Ireland. Nothing after that. There's nothing else down here. I'll just quickly look down the back and see if there is anything. And nope, there's nothing there. So yeah, that's pretty much it really. That's my review of 2018, the ship showcase. And all aboard for 2019. So of course today is Christmas Eve. It's the 24th of December right now, as of time of recording. And yeah, it's that thing there, you know, that thing that comes every year, Christmas. God, I hate this time of year. But yeah, I keep saying I don't really know why I do that. But hey ho, there we go. But yeah, got plenty of ships done, and that's our review, or my review of 2018. And all aboard, looking forward to 2019. Hopefully it'll be a better year, in theory. 2018 not been a great year in terms of views. I mean, I imagine just sort of the decay of Minecraft really. I think I've been told that a number of times, and maybe it's time for a change. We'll see what 2019 brings, and we'll go from it there. But yeah, it's not too bad. I've got plenty of new builds done anyway, and yeah, not much else to say really. I'm just going to fly back over to the original build of the year, Titanic, and then we can end it there. And it still tickles me that the MTK girls managed to do a 9-hour live stream of building stuff in Minecraft. I get bored after 9 minutes of Minecraft, to be honest. Don't know how you spend 9 hours doing a live stream. But I say not once, about 4 or 5 times. So, but yeah, it's each to their own. But, yeah, so we're back round to Titanic again, and what Titanic, Britannic, and Olympic, and of course Britannic as well. So yeah, that is that. So this is my review of 2018, my ship showcase, and I think we'll leave it at that. So this, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and a very Merry Christmas to everyone watching. Whether this is Christmas time or summertime, whenever you are watching, but Christmas with any Christmas in the future. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. So this is Rich signing off, logging off, disappearing, and I shall see you soon. So bye for now.